Hello my friends, it's Bella and welcome to my thought for Sunday, and my thought for quite a while now actually. As a content creator, I don't think I could have made my Chatty Sunday videos or gone through another week without sharing with you my thoughts and my feelings about George Lloyd. I can't express how much racism absolutely revolts me. I can't. We are all concerned about the coronavirus, how absolutely awful this COVID-19 is, how many lives we've lost. We all pray for a vaccine. Of course we do. I wish we could get a vaccine for racism. Okay. I'd like to share a couple of thoughts with you. And first of all, this one is from Romans. And it's 10:12. And it's Paul. And he's talking about Christians and how they ignore discrimination against Gentiles. There is no difference between Jew and the Gentile. The same Lord is the Lord of all, and richly blesses all who call on him. Then I'd like to share with you a thought that's not in the Bible, but a quote by someone, and I've always loved this quote. No one is born hating another person because of the colour of his skin, or his background, or his religion. People must learn to hate. And if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. And that's Nelson Mandela. I cannot possibly, as a white woman, speak and say I know what it's like to be a black person, because I don't, obviously. I have a very small taste of what that must be like. I will put a picture up here of my family, one of my daughters and her family. And these people are my life, along with Baz, of course, and my other daughter. These people are my life. And I'm thankful to God on a daily basis that my daughter is happy and that she has a good man and that she has beautiful children. I am still absolutely flummoxed at the amount of times people say to me, or have said to me, I didn't realise your girl was with a black guy. I didn't realise your girl was marrying a black guy. I didn't realise. And what do I say? I'm so sorry. When I put down or I wrote or I said my daughter's getting married, I should have put in brackets, by the way, he's black. But I didn't put he's got brown eyes. I didn't put he's got dark hair. I didn't put what job he does. I didn't put how tall he was. Why would I put he's black? It's just a way of thinking, and it's a taught way of thinking. Racism is a taught way of thinking. Nobody, as it says in that quote, nobody is born a racist. Racism is taught. Now, when Rebecca was about 5 years old, 6 years old, she had a little friend in school. And she used to talk about this little friend, and I won't mention her name obviously, but she used to talk about her a lot at home. And she said one day, can her little friend come to tea? I said, of course, if it's okay with her mummy, you know. I said, when we pick you up from school, if you show me, you know, her mummy and introduce me to her mummy, then we'll talk, and yes, it's fine. if the little friend would like to come. Obviously I mentioned her by name, but she would like to come. So she said, okay, Mummy. She said, I will come out. She said, and my friend will have a red coat. She's got a red coat, Mummy, she said. And she said, you can't miss her. She's got a red coat and she wears a hat and it matches the coat. I said, okay, sweetheart, I'll look for her. Don't worry, I'll look for her. Anyway, a friend came out and sure enough, she recognised me. She tugged at my skirt. And I said, hello, sweetheart, you must be, and then Rebecca came running out and they cuddled and, as friends do. Can you come to tea? Can you come to tea? And this little girl was African. And why I was so proud of my daughter, I'm glad that maybe I'd done something right, is that my daughter put the identifying mark on her friend as a red coat. It was the colour of her coat and not the colour of her face that I would recognise her by. Because she's never been taught any different. My children were taught good and bad. Good and bad. And she knows good and bad, and her friend is a good little friend. She's a good person, Mummy. That's all you want. That's all she sees. She knows the difference between good. She knows the difference between bad. Both of them do. They're taught. It's just a way of life in the home. I don't consciously tell them black people are the same as white people. I don't consciously think. I just know that there are good people and that there are bad people. And the evil copper that did that to George was an evil person. Not because he was a copper, not because he was white, because he was horrible. He was a rotten person, awful to do that to that poor, poor man. I cannot imagine his family. Imagine seeing that. Imagine the pain. Imagine trying to catch your breath because this evil, evil person is doing this to you. I mean, I cannot imagine that sort of pain. I cannot imagine that sort of prejudice. But as I said to you, because I'm a white woman, I can't speak for black people because I've not been there, but a little sense. So I showed you the photograph of my family. I've got a little inkling of it, of the people that say to me, what do you think, how do you feel about your daughter being married to someone black? I said, what? I don't understand that. I'm proud and love my son-in-law because he's a good man. He loves my daughter. He loves my grandchildren. That's it. I don't care if he's black, white, pink, orange, whatever he is. I don't care. I just care he's a good man. And I've taught my children that way to be. And racism is something I absolutely despise. So racism is a lot more dangerous than COVID-19. It's a lot more dangerous. We need to stand up to it. Everybody needs to stand up to it. And if I can do it in my little way, in my tiny little voice, on my tiny little channel, then I will do that. My heart completely goes out to George's family. Completely. I cannot imagine that pain that they must be feeling. And the riots, no, I don't agree with riots. I don't agree with thugs doing things in the name of something that is actually just to be thug-like. But I do agree with those genuine people standing their ground after years and years and years of this humiliation. I do agree with them and I stand with them completely. I am I'm quite I'm not an introvert. I'm not an introvert, but I'm very live and let live kind of person. I always try to respect everybody's views, and I try to know that not everybody's views are the same as my own. And you very rarely see an angry side of me. Because, as I said, I do try to see everybody's views. I do to understand even people that have misjudged me or got me wrong, or, you know, for reasons they have. And they have their reasons, and, you know, that's okay, that's okay. That's me. If my grandchildren, well, you'd have to get through their mum and dad first. But if anyone ever abused or attacked, criticised my grandchildren, you would see a very unhumble Bella. Yeah, I believe in standing up what's right. I truly do believe for standing up for what's right. And I hope that the full force of the law comes down onto him. I know now that it's gone on, that I think he's going to be charged. What we know, or coming through in the UK, is going to be charged with murder. Absolutely, absolutely. For George's family, for the justice, for the awful thing that is racism, he should definitely be charged with murder. I'm not always very articulate in how I put things over, and I do speak from the heart. Sometimes I don't get the words out right. Okay, so sometimes I find it difficult to say the things I'm thinking. I know what's in here, I don't always articulate them right, but I know that nothing I would like to see more end in the world than racism. I don't think we'll ever be, how can we ever be a united world when someone judges someone by the colour of their skin? And how can you blame for the years and years? We don't know what it's like as white people. We don't know. We've never been oppressed like that. And you can come back at me, and if you know you disagree, you can come back at me. That's fine. That's fine. But I, in my tiny little way, in my tiny little corner of the world, would not have felt right if I hadn't expressed my disgust for how George was treated and my disgust for racism. So I hope I put it across. I hope you can see how strongly I feel about it. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to share any stories with me below, please do so. And I know in England we're not suffering anything like America has always suffered. As I said to you before, I was in America last year, and I loved it. It's such a different place to obviously is it being at the moment. But you know, I stayed for a while in Brooklyn, and with some wonderful people, and went to some wonderful places there, and met some really lovely cops as well. And I've put a photo up before, I think, on Facebook, but I will put a photograph here of a lovely policeman that I met, or a cop that I met on 42nd Street, and he was a lovely guy. So let's not judge anyone by their profession, because there's good and bad of all. And certainly let's judge anyone by the colour of their skin, because there's good and bad of all. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you understood where I was coming from. I couldn't have gone without saying it. And I will see you again in my next video. Please take care of yourself. God bless you all.